Port St. John's, on the Mzimvubu River at the Wild Coast, that is where our adventure began.
Oh, wie schön. Den Martin haben wir eben nicht gehabt. Warum habe ich das verpasst?
Ear-splitting gospel music accompanied us on our 2.5-hour taxi bus ride that took us through the rolling hills of the Transkei to Msikaba, the starting point of the Pondoland Trail. 3 Canadian girls will be joining us for the first 3 days. The road progressively worsened. A 4x4 was needed for the last few meters to take our luggage to the camp.
Bye.
The sun was setting by the time we arrived at the camp, which lies on the estuary of the Msikaba River. The Wild Coast stretches for 280 kilometers from Port Edwards in Natal to East London. We hiked the approximate 70-kilometer Pondoland section from Msikaba to Port St. John's in 6 days. John and Sharon were our support team, transporting the luggage from camp to camp and catering for all our needs. Early morning, John and Bongani, the camp manager, were already busy loading our luggage for transport, while we took the time to explore the pristine estuary by canoe. Griffon vultures were nesting high up in the steep cliff face. We could have spent more time here, but we still had a 9-kilometer hike to Port Grosvenor ahead of us. A lone lighthouse stands guard, warning passing ships about this treacherous coastline. Bartholomew Dias, the first man to circumnavigate the southern tip of Africa in 1488, found his watery grave off this coast during a subsequent voyage in 1500. The trail was seldom marked. No problem, as we had Vumile, our guide, with us for the 6 days. Port Grosvenor, nice accommodation, good food, the whole place to ourselves, and in the evening a glass of wine or two. What more can one ask for? Another beautiful sunrise and a hearty breakfast prepared by Sharon before we set off. Vumile pointed out the quinine tree, the bark of which they used to treat malaria. The Amapondo depend on the rich food resources of the coast. The num-num shrub that grows in the coastal forests bears a juicy, tasty, plum-sized fruit high in a vitamin C content. It wasn't the last time that we had to take off our shoes. The huge breakers were a sign that we were nearing Luputhana, our next camp. This camp is not accessible by car, and all the luggage had to be carried across the estuary at low tide. The beauty of the wild coast belies its treacherous nature, as many ships were wrecked on its shores. One of the most famous was the East Indiaman Grosvenor, which struck a reef near today's Port Grosvenor in 1782. Of the 150 people on board, 125 made it to shore. 4 months later, only 6 of them, barely alive, reached a farm near Port Elizabeth, 500 kilometers to the west. Another 12 were rescued later. The others perished. Another beautiful morning as we started day 3 earlier than usual on this 18-kilometer stretch. This was almost too close for comfort. Catching octopus on the rock shelves can be dangerous, as the huge waves are often unpredictable. We were nearing one of the most interesting stretches of the wild coast. At Waterfall Bluff, the Mlombomkhulu River drops 80 meters straight into the ocean. The person to the right is dwarfed by the majestic size of the waterfall. We headed far inland again to cross the river. Cathedral Rock, sculptured by the waves. Deep river gorges with its indigenous forests made it often necessary to walk further inland to cross the many streams.
Hallo Erwin, grüß mal freundlich, schlussendlich bist du auch mal dort.
Another waterfall plunging straight into the ocean. This rugged stretch of coast is one of the Gondwana breakaway spots that once connected us to Antarctica about 200 million years ago.
African sky blue, your children wait for the dawn. African sky blue, soon a new day will be born. African sky
Bruce Camp.
Are we halfway already?
No, fortunate. 4 Ks to go.
4 Ks.
That's what I guess. 2 hours we're there.
African sunshine, soon you will warm your children's eyes. The African river water will dance and leap in your morning light. African sunshine, African river water, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life? Oh, will you bless my life? What can I know? What can I dream? What can I hope? What will the future bring? You shine through me, but will you see me through? African sky blue. African sky blue. Will you see him through?
Day 3 was a long but beautiful day. It was late afternoon as we arrived at Mbotyi.
Erzähl, wie war denn der Trip?
Der Trip.
Wie war es heute?
Der heutige Tag, ja, also etwas anstrengend, würde ich sagen.
War
als
das,
es
ja?
da den Hügel runterging
Ja.
und am Strand, das fand ich
Ja.
also anstrengend, da zu laufen.
Deine ganzen Sünden vergeben. Du brauchst dann den Santiago nicht mehr machen. Ha?
Nee, den werde ich auch keinen Fall machen, denn dann läuft man nicht in der Natur. Also das ist nur Straße, das ist doch nicht mein Ding.
Und der Fritz, der lachte nur. Ha?
Nee, war sehr schön. Also ich finde das sehr schön und dass es alles so gut geklappt hat. Und Graciela hat jetzt also
Ja, Confidence meinst du?
3 Tage Übung und Confidence, also wird das auch laufen. Und heute Abend gibt es Crayfish und davor noch ein Bier und Weißwein. Ja.
So, and we are already halfway.
Heute ist halfway, richtig.
Ja.
Du weißt nicht, was du sagen sollst. Du hast das hier alles eingefädelt. Also
Ich bin stumm.
Nee, du brauchst nicht stumm zu sagen, du hast doch
It was
organisiert.
beautiful, it was fantastic, you know. We were lucky with the weather.
Ja,
It was 18 kilometers today.
18.
18. The waterfall bluff was just magic.
And that is according to here Alex GPS or?
Yes, yeah, GPS from Alex. Yeah.
frag mal die Alex, ob das sicher ist.
That was fantastic. And we all made it. Huh?
Hier sowieso.
So, jetzt. Alex,
Ja.
it's your turn.
Alex with blisters.
Wo hast du Blister?
Hast du das Pflaster an den Füßen?
Ja, auf den Füßen, auf den einen Fuß, 3 Blisters.
Ah.
Ja.
Und was hat,
Good, we're here. That's
Aber
beautiful.
was hast du für Socken? Hast du dicke Socken?
Zum Laufen, ja.
Ja.
Ich denke, die waren dick genug. I never get a blister. And now,
Except now.
Well, there's always first time.
Where did some flowers?
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Es war so ein ruhiger, angenehmer Tag. Wir haben es
But
so
there were no
genossen.
flowers, it was just green.
Für mich waren da genügend Blumen.
Sogar ich habe gesehen, dass es Blumen jetzt gibt. Jetzt gucke ich auch schon so auf die Blumen.
und was machst du jetzt mit dem, was du zusammengetragen hast?
Nein, ich mache gar nichts. Ich bin auf Urlaub.
Aber du machst nachher.
Weiß ich noch nicht. Enjoy!
another beautiful dawn. We decided to walk through the village before heading down to the coast again.
From where does Messi come from? From where does Messi come from?
Argentina.
Well done. I was born there as well, you see.
Yeah.
But I don't play soccer like he plays. Who's better, he or Pelé? Or Maradona?
It's Messi.
Messi.
Messi. Because he's a player of world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer seems to unite nations. Pity we didn't have a knife on us. We could have had oysters on the beach. Cattle play a profound role of the wealth in the local communities. We wondered what kind of snake came down to the beach. Secluded pristine beaches, rocky shores, deep coastal forests and beautiful estuaries. We had it all to ourselves. The hills seem to be getting progressively steeper. But what goes up must come down. And the beautiful estuary of the Manteku River lay before us, with the camp on the opposite side. Sharon and John were already there and arranged for us to be picked up by canoe.
You want to know it, so that's a different, you know. Oh, wow.
Like the other camps, this one was situated on an estuary and sheltered by the dune forest.
Now just tell us a little bit about the trip now. Why are you pushing off tomorrow so early?
Well, I made a bit of a boo-boo with my flights, so I've got to catch airplanes back to Cape Town.
Oh, that's a pity, huh?
It is a bit of a pity.
Yeah.
I'd much rather watch you suffer all the rest of the way.
Thank you for sharing that so
I'd have to
nicely
forego
with
that
us.
pleasure.
You know, I can see tomorrow this competition between Rick and this youngster, you know?
Yes.
And Rick making the point, I'm going to beat you, I'm going
Looks
to
like
show
a
you."
bloody Duracell button, I'll tell you. It's short.
This is the land where the Khoi sand people roam. This is the land we love, the land we call our home. Ages of ancient wisdom, the Africans say when the day's done. When the African day is done. When the African day is done.
Early morning we said goodbye to Rick, who with his guide, batteries fully charged, had to hike the 23 kilometers to Port St. John's in one day.
You mean just keep my plumber's crack covered up?
No, nothing was hanging out.
Because of the rough terrain, there is no road along the coast. So to support us on the approximate 70-kilometer hike and to reach our overnight stops, John and Sharon had to travel almost 500 kilometers, often on 4x4 tracks, inland and back. The white flag indicates the availability of local beer, but it was too early in the morning for us.
Quite steep, huh?
Oh yeah. Very nice.
No, how is it going?
ist anstrengend, ha?
Yeah?
Ja, jünger wird man nicht.
A canoe was already on the way to take us across the Ntafufu estuary to the camp. This was the only spot at the camp with cell phone reception.
We got a message just now from Rick. He says, reach Port St. John ferry at 12:30. Guide was Duracell Bunny with metronome legs. He arrived just now at 12:30 in the camp, and meanwhile Rick is already in Port St. John to prove that he was really beating his own record.
There was still enough time in the afternoon to explore the mangrove forests in the estuary. Early morning on the last day. We packed our bags for the last time.
Yeah, we brought the little cement slab with a drain hole.
Vumile was already waiting for us.
Where did you get your hat?
A good head for heights and shoe soles with good grip were definitely an advantage on these slopes.
lo msebenzi ubokile webaba nemali ayingeni awungathi leli vekile ngaphela webaba 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 ngumsima kulomhlaba webaba lo msebenzi ubokile webaba nemali ayingeni sengathi leli vekile ngaphela webaba webaba awungithi woza Friday my darling woza Friday umsebenzi ubokile woza Friday my sweetie woza Friday ilanga linkomile wena awungithi woza Friday my darling woza Friday umsebenzi ubokile woza Friday my sweetie woza Friday ilanga linkomile wena goodbye I'm going now I'm going 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 tomorrow morning I'm going tomorrow morning I'm going tomorrow morning I'm going tomorrow morning
We hiked for 6 days along this magnificent, pristine and unspoiled coast. Yet, this paradise is under threat. A toll road is planned near the coast, and the beach sands contain titanium and other valuable minerals ready to be mined. One can only hope that public resistance to stop these projects will succeed. Port St. John's was in sight, but we still had to cross the estuary of the Mzimvubu, the river of the hippos. This looks a bit precarious. There are no hippos in the river anymore, but sharks make their way up the river, as we found out afterwards. After 6 days of solitude, Port St. John's was a bit of a shock. It was time to say goodbye to Vumile, our guide, and Sharon and John, who looked after us so well and made sure that we had an unforgettable time.
I'm going